Hello, my name is Sylvester Henderson, and I am the CEO of Professor for Life Incorporated. I am so excited today to interview Dr. Vanson Nguyen. He is professor of math at College of Alameda. Welcome, Dr. Vanson Nguyen.
Dr. Henderson, I'm grateful to be here. Thank you very much.
Can you, Dr. Nguyen, can you introduce yourself to our digital media academic community? Tell us where you grew up and share your academic journey. Where did you go to college and all those wonderful things?
All right. Hi, I'm Dr. Vanson Nguyen. My parents migrated from Vietnam by means of a war. And so I identify as a child of refugee parents.
Okay.
And born and raised in San Francisco, so I was the only one in my family that was born in the United States. So I'm the only one that can run for president. And,
Okay.
a product of San Francisco Unified School District. And I finished my last 2 years in Santa Rosa, which is very different, very suburban. You see it in the movies, like a high school that you see in the movies. But then I went to, I was like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get back home. So went back home and I went to Skyline College. And so that's right outside San Francisco, maybe like 10 minutes south. Drive, or the way that I was going was an hour and 20 minutes on the bus. So, and I applied to a bunch of colleges there, and then I got into all of the Southern California UCs, including UCLA. Never in my wildest dream did I think I would get into a college like UCLA. And so I got to shout out Skyline College and the California Community College system for even giving me the opportunity. I just never would have thought that was a possibility. So I went there. It's not quite my vibe in LA, and that's fine. So I came back home. But then while I was there, I had committed my life to teaching, and in particular teaching community colleges. So I found the pathway, and the pathway was a master's degree in the content area that I wanted to teach, and it was math. So came back home, got into San Francisco State for the master's in math, and I started teaching a class pretty much right away. So I was 23 when I taught my first course. It was at San Francisco State University. And then I graduated a few years later. First job out of grad school, teaching at Skyline College, my alma mater. So I got the full circle. And then about 7 years later, I got a full-time tenure track position at College of Alameda. And I've been here ever since.
And where did you finish your doctorate?
Oh yeah. I forgot to mention that. So after I got to College of Alameda, it was a few years in, and then I decided to pursue my doctorate degree in educational leadership, and that was also at San Francisco State University.
Wow. Okay. Very, very, very good. Can you describe your work and responsibilities as a professor of mathematics at the College of Alameda? I mean, tell us, what does that really entail? You know, I know you teach and you meet with the students. What are some of the other responsibilities that a professor in math will have at a community college?
So I'm gonna give you my evolution and how it's like changed over time. So when I first get there, I'm teaching classes, and the job descriptions teach classes and teach students, teach the range of math courses that we offer, and at the time from arithmetic to differential equations. And so good, that's what I actually enjoy doing the most, is what I enjoy teaching. I enjoy working with students. I soon became department leader. So by my third year of tenure track, I was department co-chair. And so then now I'm working with as a leader in the department to update course outlines, do student learning outcomes, be a liaison for the department to the rest of the campus. And then we get new initiatives, statewide initiatives, and new statewide laws, such as Assembly Bill 705, and then the follow-up of Assembly Bill 1705. And that ushers in a new era of class offerings. So essentially, we no longer offer, and I'm putting quotes, remedial math courses that don't get college credit. So no more Algebra 1, Algebra 2, etc. And moving forward, we're actually going to offer less and less support or preparation courses for calculus. So one of my additional roles related to being a math faculty is helping transition the department into these new initiatives and working with faculty to develop structures for professional development and faculty growth to work with these new policies.
Wow. Okay, Dr. Nguyen, can you tell us how many students do you typically oversee in a week?
Oversee? What do you mean by that?
Oversee, well, what that you work with. Because you know what a professor does, oversee, advise, work with, collaborate, their students throughout the week on sometimes the day-to-day. So I'm just curious, as a math professor, what are the sizes of your courses generally, and how many students do you deal with in a typical week, you think?
Great. So we're going to do a quick math problem then.
Okay.
How appropriate. The class is usually about 35 to 40 students. We'll just say 40 for even number, nice even number.
Okay.
And then if I got 4 classes, that's 160 students.
Okay.
4 times 40 is 160. So if I have one class, then, and sometimes I only have one class, then I'm regularly working with about 40 students. So that's teaching, that's grading, that's interacting, that's responding to emails, that's listening to students, that's fielding requests for extensions, that's having students work together, and I guess, for lack of a better word, coaching students into working together, or coaching students into believing in themselves that they can do math. So there's the classroom time, whether that's in person, synchronous, or asynchronous, and then there's the student interaction time, which can bleed outside of the classroom. That's not just office hours, that's the after class, walking to the next class, or you walk into class, you run into somebody, and then you get to class early and there's a couple of people there early. So I would say during a week, just really depends on how many classes I'm teaching. About 40 students per class, and then however many hours, however many units, that's the hours per week. But then we add on a little bit extra for that extra time.
Okay. Now, I know that as a professor of math, I can tell you have great excitement, which is wonderful. The community college offers so many opportunities to professors in terms of growth within the system. And I know you've held and still hold some professional leadership roles. Can you discuss those leadership roles that you hold at the College of Alameda?
Yeah. So I've been the lead for AB 705 implementation. So working with the department to provide support and professional development for faculty as we essentially removed all the remedial courses. But that also meant working with English faculty. That also meant working with counseling, and also the curriculum committee as we updated our course outlines. I've also been the lead for zero textbook costs within the math department, and that was getting the faculty on board and providing training so that the cost of the textbook and the homework was zero. And then, so that's kind of department stuff, which is, I would say, not in my job description as department chair. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, here's this new thing. I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So then, additionally, I'm the evaluations coordinator for the campus. So I wouldn't say I oversee. I facilitate and support the
Okay.
evaluations of part-time and tenured faculty. So the people who've already gone through their tenure track process. So then I facilitate that for the campus. And then for the district, I coordinate the Faculty Diversity Internship Program, or FDIP. And
Wow.
so that's the big one.
Okay. How does your advocacy work support students of diversity and encourage faculty diversification for College of Alameda?
I think first and foremost, I gotta walk the walk. And so in my class, I'm working constantly towards equitable teaching. It's a little bit harder to find in STEM and math because the content is kind of rigid, and like the content is just like math and STEM and science, and it's not common to get equitable content and culturally relevant stuff into the classroom. But there's a lot of ways to do it, and you best believe I'm doing it. We can dive in deeper another time. So I'm doing that. And then in my positions that I'm working with many faculty, I'm always dropping these seeds about equity in teaching. So anytime I can talk about, if I'm helping someone with their evaluation, I can suggest something around increasing student engagement. I can suggest something around equitable grading practices. Now, I'm not forcing anybody's hand, but every conversation to me is an opportunity for professional development. So there's that piece, and that's through the when I'm talking to people about evaluations. And then with Faculty Diversity Internship Program, we are providing trainings, monthly trainings for prospective faculty who are in grad school or already completed but have no faculty experience. So we got the trainings, we got the equity trainings, we got ethnic studies across the curriculum, we got working with student services. So it's I'm honored to be in these positions where I get to work with faculty and I get to move the needle and impact their teaching.
Wow. Now, currently, are you still in the role of chair of chairs?
Oh, I forgot to mention that. So there's a department chair committee on the campus, and I am the chair of that committee. It's an elected position. So I am the chair of the department chairs committee, or for short, chair of chairs. So I've been doing that for a handful of years now, and I still am doing that. And I run and facilitate and hold those monthly meetings. They are meetings with the VP and all of the department chairs, and it's a mode of communication, but also working towards improving kind of processes.
And do you find that it's also a wonderful way of trying to unify under an agreed upon mission that all the departments, even though there are different areas of academic concentration, there's some overall goals that all the department can discuss with their leaders? Do you find that working in that chair of chairs helps you to understand what's happening in all the departments?
I
What?
do.
Okay.
I do. And maybe it's just the position of it. I'm an ear for faculty, and I'm an ear for department chairs. And I'll have department chairs share things with me. I'm like, oh, thank you very much for sharing. And so I'll have an opportunity to pass that forward if they so wish. I also have opportunities to plant seeds about equity and teaching. So whether that's in the one-on-one conversations in the hallways before and after the meetings, or during the meetings, best believe that some of this work around improving equitable outcomes is definitely coming out.
Wow. In what ways does your advocacy around equity in teaching contribute to some of the effective higher educational goals for College of Alameda?
Uh, okay, so that's a big question,
It
and
is.
I'm gonna I will answer that kind of in two different ways. So first, great. I'm in these positions, and because I'm in these positions, I get people listen to me more, and so I'm gonna be pushing forward things around equitable teaching. That's one. Number two, it's not just teaching though, because the student comes in and the first point of contact is an online application, and the second point of contact is working with counselors and the Welcome Center and admissions and records. So from a faculty perspective, someone in math, I'm thinking like, okay, how can I reduce barriers? How can I increase access? And these new laws, AB 705, AB 1705, have definitely increased access to transfer level courses and calculus level courses. So in a nutshell, for AB 1705, whatever class you took in the past, whatever GPA you took in the class, if you are a major that requires that Calc 1 class, like a STEM major, we're just going to start you there. And we're increasing access. So that's a policy related thing that, back to a question that you had before, that's something that I do as a faculty member. I can work with policies, department policies. Okay, so that's a policy related thing that I can help increase access to calculus class. So in these positions that I'm sitting in, teaching, policy stuff, there's probably a handful of other things. And I'm just going to point back to Faculty Diversity Internship Program, FDIP, working with a future workforce and building and creating. Let me not use building and creating. Working collaboratively with future faculty who want to do the work, and working collaboratively with chairs and deans to make sure that what they're looking for is going to be aligned with the training that I provide the interns.
Wow. Who inspired you to pursue a career as an academic professor?
Okay, initially, I thought it was my 11th grade history teacher, and this is when I first got to Santa Rosa, and I remember saying, "Oh, I actually got to pick my class." I actually got to like kind of pick some teachers, which was uncommon, and I was like, I want a teacher who uses a little bit of profanity. So Mr. Emmett O'Neill, rest in peace. He teaches history, or he taught history, and he was the first person that told me to question everything, but very engaging. I love teaching. And actually, my first taste of teaching, because I was like, Mr. O'Neill, I want to teach. Let me teach a lesson. I was actually like reading 2 other books because I was so excited about the subject. It's actually more, I was excited to be in his class, which made me excited about the subject of history. So I thought that, growing up, he was the impetus, but as I thought deeper, my major impetuses were my second and third grade teacher, Miss McGee, at Gene Parker Elementary, the first African-American teacher that I've ever had, and she just happened to be amazing. We always went on field trips, and I love field trips, so I look forward to going to school. And we go to a field trip to the library, go to a field trip to the museum. It's all walking distance from Gene Park in Chinatown. We go on a field trip to the park. Had so much fun going to school. I look forward to going to school. And then I would also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my parents, because I didn't know until much later, until after I decided I wanted to teach, that they had taught. And
wow, okay.
Yeah, my dad taught math. My mom taught elementary school. So I didn't know it was my blood that I was an educator. I mean, they mentioned it, but I asked deeper as I got a little bit older. So I would say that it started with my parents, although I didn't know. Miss McGee, had her for 2 years, amazing. And then Mr. O'Neill was another major impetus. And then over the years, I like have really good teachers, and I'm like, okay, I'm using that in my class when I get to teach. I'm using that in my class when I get to teach. And still now to this day, I meet other teachers, faculty, professors that inspire me. I'm like, okay, I'm using some of your stuff in my class, and that includes some interns who have never taught a class, but they got these ideas. I'm like, yes, love it.
That's wonderful. What challenges have you faced as a diverse individual in higher education? What are some of the challenges that you faced?
Before I had the language of what was going on, I'll kind of say that growing up low income, there's a certain type of mindset that I had around like people that I didn't like. And so if I didn't like you, I'm just like, okay, then I really don't like you. And so I can't even work with you. So, period. And that was that. I had that through my K-12, through my college years, etc. And then when I get to professional, be a white collar professional, that's what teaching is, then I had the same mindset. And I didn't realize that burning bridges would be a problem, because it wasn't a problem growing up. Oh, I burned a bridge, I didn't like you, and so on and so forth. So I would say that from a class perspective, that I had to learn the hard way around relationships.
That's right.
And bridges about like, oh, if I don't like you, I'm not messing with you, I don't want to talk to you. And that can be problematic, especially when there's like power dynamics at play of part-time versus full-time faculty. So I would say that part being growing up low income and learning the white collar professionalism. So that's one of them. I would also say definitely because of the color of my skin, that people would just kind of be like, oh, you talk so well. Oh, yeah, I don't really like that idea. And then in the same meeting, some other dude will say the exact same thing. People are like, oh, yeah, I like that idea. And then I guess the term is now called gaslight. And I was just like, okay, it's like that. All right. Good for me to know. So I now have the language around that. And it's a result of the isms. The different systems of oppression: classism, racism, sexism, xenophobia, which is the ism of fear of immigrants. And these are things that I faced, but I'd be remiss if I didn't share how I work with them. And I found my tribe, I found my peoples on campus, and I found my support. So that's on campus, but I find them off campus as well. I find mentors and I find femtors. That's an actual word. Shout out bell hooks. FEMTOR. So this is my community, my tribe, both on campus and outside campus. And they, because they've been there before, and they're gonna provide it. They're gonna provide the help for me. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Well, you know what? There are many challenges. I like the fact that you talked earlier. Your original conversation was understanding not to burn bridges. That's something that, it is true in the inner city. Sometimes you figure, well, if I don't like this person, I just tell them I don't like them. But in higher education, it doesn't work that well. I too, you have to learn to be much more tactful with your language, because one of the things about educators, they never forget and they never forgive. Very rarely do they forget, and very rarely do they forgive. And as you are trying to move up in the academic experience or advancement ladder, something that you could have said innocently 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago will come back to haunt you, because people hold on to it. So that is something that I had to learn. And you learn and develop greater skills. Sometimes there's some things you can't take back. Some earlier things that I used to say in my many academic careers, I learned well. I probably could have said that more tactfully. Some things I've learned that I've had to just bite the bullet for. But in any regard, I think what is so wonderful is to hear your journey of professional growth and your journey of interest in instruction and teaching and your excitement around it. Which brings me to my last couple of questions. What community work have you accomplished to improve equity for protected classes, particularly in the current equity versus equality movement? That's the big issue. Should it be equity that we support, or should it be the concept of equality? That's kind of a political movement as well, but that's a big issue.
Yeah, I would say, especially right now, 2025, June 2025, having DEI in any language could get your funding pulled. You know what I'm saying? So, but to me, they try to bury me, but I'm a seed. So, I'm gonna keep doing the work. Now, the question was how. So, my avenues of communication, wherever they at, I'm still gonna be laying it on thick. So that's number one. Number two, building community, building capacity, finding the other folks that are doing the good work, and that includes the new folks coming on the campus, but not just my campus, within my district. I might as well think a little bit bigger because my man Dr. Henderson's on that statewide Senate type of work. So let me start thinking about building statewide as well. Where are the other people doing similar good work that they might feel isolated if they're out in a part of the state where they're very minoritized, where the faculty percentages for their color are very, very low. So good, I can provide that on campus. I can find, oh, hey, you new hire, hey, what's up? Let's go grab some lunch. But then building out structures to support other new faculty who might not know what the Senate is yet. So working with other faculty diversity internship programs, working with them so that we can stay connected on best practices. And if I got someone in Long Beach, even though I'm in Oakland, then I connect them with my Long Beach homie. You know what I'm saying? Or if someone's a grad student in San Diego, but they're grad students from Sacramento, that the San Diego people connect them to the Sacramento people. You know what I'm saying? So some type of statewide community and network so that we can connect the new and incoming faculties who are down with the program, down with the cause, so that they can get that support when they come in.
Wow.
Did I answer the question? I'm not even sure if I answered the question there.
You answered the question. You kind of redesigned the question, but you answered it. You gave me, basically in a nutshell, you talked about your, I don't want to say resistance, but your resistance to not following what is not effective to improve diversity for colleges. In a sense, is that you are committed. I think that that's a good principle to have, but to me that also ties in to the wisdom that you talked about earlier in terms of really making equity in teaching a great value. I have found in asking this particular question that I receive various different answers. One of the things that I heard someone say that's also, I think, effective is that you don't have to have it is advisable to identify fair practices that will help all humankind. But if you are restricted by law because of whatever, you don't need a law to do the right thing. You can do the right thing simply from doing the right thing. And so that basically is what I heard. That, there are restrictions. There are some DEI conversations that are difficult. However, Dr. Nguyen is going to continue to do the right thing. I like that. Please, Dr. Nguyen, my last two questions is really kind of one combined into two. Can you share some of your professional goals, future projects, and innovations, and what other final thoughts that you'd like to communicate as we wrap up our wonderful interview?
So, let me just share a short journey of how I got to where I'm at now. So, I'm teaching. Then I learned about, there's social justice and equity in classroom. And then I learned, it's in the STEM, and it's harder to get there. Okay, cool. Let me learn this professional development. Let me join a couple organizations, statewide organizations, and let me work with them. And then I realized, okay, good, that's important, and it's either not enough or I need to do more. I bet those are two of the same in one. And then it just kind of dawned on me that working to diversify incoming faculty that represent the students. So hey, let me rephrase that. Recruiting and hiring, retaining faculty that are representative of the students. There you go. There's no DEI in there. So I found that there was a big need there. And it was right at we got one in Peralta that's been going on for 30 something years. Okay, cool. So that now I've committed my next handful of years plus, decade plus work to this type of work, and doing it statewide. So I want to see what other FDIPs are doing up and down the state. I want us to share best practices. It's not competition, although it kind of is, right? There's like one full-time position, and a couple colleges got it. Like, okay, cool. That's fine. But then the outreach practices, the equity hiring practices, the retention practices, like all those need to be shared. So I would say that's kind of on my horizon. And then what was the second part of the question?
Tell me any final thoughts you would like to communicate.
The final thoughts I would like to communicate to the audience, but also as a reminder to myself, is that scientific, maybe because I'm STEM, the scientific research shows that hope is a healing factor when you faced a lot of bologna sandwich and BS. In that if you felt that society has put its foot on your neck, is hope that keeps you going forward. So it's a reminder to myself to continue to have that hope that I can make an impact and I can move the needle and do good for our students. So that's my last thing I just got to say.
Dr. Nguyen, you just kind of summarize something I say all the time.
Say it.
Keep hope alive.
Yes, sir.
Because keep hope alive is a wonderful way. I heard that statement years ago from the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and it carries me almost daily. Listen, on behalf of my company, Professor for Life Incorporated, I want to thank you for taking the time to allow me to interview you. You are a wonderful young professional and scholar, and I admire you dearly, and it's so good to hear and to see young people so excited about helping to move the needle to improve student learning and improve life. I commend you. We love you. Thank you. And we'll be talking to you soon. In my heart, you have a positive day. Thank you.